So, sorry for the delay. This is wheel. This is talk about wheel. Wheel is the new binary package format for Python that works with pip. So when it comes to just you as the end user, what do you have to know about wheel? That's really what you have to know. It's a new pre-built package format that works with pip. So this talk is really as much about pip as it is about wheel. So let's review what pip is like. If you'll remember way back, Brian gave a presentation on package installation with Python. So pip is the state-of-the-art in package management for Python. It can install packages automatically from the Python package index. It will install the dependencies of these packages automatically for you. You can freeze dependencies into a requirement.txt file. You can upgrade packages, and perhaps best of all, you can uninstall packages with pip. So let's look at some of the installation options pip gives you. There are lots of ways you can install from a Python package source distribution using pip. You can just say pip install this package for me, and it will go to the internet, it will go to the package index, it will find that package, it will figure out the version, latest version and all that, and it will install it. If you point it to, say, a Git repo, it will also, if it points to a Python package source distribution with a setup.py, it will go to that repo, it will download all the code and build it and install it for you. If you happen to have the code locally on your machine, you can point it to that directory, and it will find setup.py and it will install it for you. And finally, if you combine the no index and find links options, you can basically tell it, don't go to the package index on the internet, treat this local directory as sort of my own local package index. I have a bunch of, say, source tarballs in there or something. Find the package pyzmq in this case and install it. So that's a lot of options. Pip is pretty deluxe in that regard. Is there anything it can't do? In fact, there's a major thing it can't do, and that's install from eggs. So you might have heard of Python eggs. You might not really be sure what they are. They are basically the old binary pre-built package distribution format. So we can see here on the package index page for pyzmq, the source distributions are down there at the bottom, and at the top are all these pre-built eggs built for all sorts of operating systems and different versions of Python. With pip, you cannot use any of these. You must build from source all the time, which can be annoying, especially on, say, Windows machines. Building from source is often harder because it's harder to get the toolchain set up and get the right version of Visual Studio and whatnot. So it's annoying. It's good to be able to use these eggs, and pip can't do it. Why can't pip do it? I tried to find out the sort of design decisions. It was on purpose, I know that. I don't really know why not, though. I guess just because it was old and busted and they were coming up with this new wheel format. So that's the practical realities. If you're using pip, you can't install eggs. But this brings us to wheel now. Wheel is basically the new egg format. They just couldn't call it new egg because that name was taken already. So it's not called egg, it's called wheel. It's the new format. It's better than egg, apparently, for lots of reasons I don't have time to get into. And starting with version 1.4, which, as I said before, was released very, very recently, pip will install from wheels. So what do you have to do to make pip install wheels? Well, it turns out it won't install them by default from the package index. You have to use this use wheel option. So first things first, use pip install -u to upgrade pip itself to the latest version, so you have at least 1.4. Then if you use this use wheel option, pip install use wheel pyzmq, this will cause pip to prefer wheels over source distributions, whereas if you don't use it, it will default to building from source distributions. So use wheel, and if you go to the pyzmq page, it also, in addition to eggs, includes all these wheel archives now built for the same platforms and whatnot. So you can, if you're on a Windows machine, it will download, say, the Windows wheel. You don't have to build anything, it's all pre-built right for you. And that's great. So that's nice. I'll show you one more trick with pip in combination with wheels. In addition to making pip install from wheels, you can use pip to create your own wheels. This capability isn't built into pip. You need to install the additional wheel module using pip, first of all. So do that with pip install wheel, then make a place to store your wheels. I like .wheelhouse. Then if you use the pip wheel command instead of pip install, it takes most of the same options as pip install does, only instead of building the package and putting it in your site packages, it will build it and then package it up into a wheel for you. So here you point it to the wheelhouse, you tell it, please build a wheel for LXML, which is a package that's notorious for its pretty long build times, and it will build everything, and at the end it will build a wheel for you and put it in that directory. Then you look in that directory, you see this wheel, it specifies the version of LXML, the version of CPython of the wheel was built for. I built it on Mac OS 10 and so on. And finally, if you combine the use wheel and no index option that I showed you earlier, the no index and find links options with the use wheel, you can tell pip basically, here's where I store my wheels go out there, find a wheel for this package, and it will basically just extract it, and the process is pretty much immediate. It takes less than a second. So this is great if, for example, there are packages that you install by default to every virtual env you make. Even if you had a local cache of the source, you had to rebuild that package, and if there were C extensions that needed to be built, it could take potentially a long time, even though you already had it on your machine. With wheel and pip, you can have that whole thing pre-built, and it just plops it right into your virtual env near instantaneously. So that's all I have to say about wheel and pip. If you want to read about the latest versions of either, go to these links. And aside from that, I'll be happy to take questions. Yes.
Will you save any space installing wheels?
Sorry, will you save any space?
Disk space.
What do you mean? You mean instead, as opposed to keeping source distributions around and stuff like that? Maybe. Wheel is maybe or maybe not. I don't know. It depends how much the pre-built. Because wheel is basically a zip file. It's a zip archive with all the stuff stuffed inside it. So it will be compressed. But then again, a source tarball can be compressed too. So I think the purpose of it, I don't think, is really to save space. I don't know that you could really save a lot of space.
So you get it's still got the .py, it's not have the .py.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah. It's just like it would contain anything an egg would contain, basically. So, and eggs are also zip archives. So definitely, when you compare wheel and egg, the differences are mainly like structure and metadata, I think. So they're not too different in terms of size, I'm pretty sure. Any other questions about wheel or how to use wheel? I think I should add that I picked PyZMQ because it is a package on the index that does have wheels for it. I didn't do a lot of looking, but I wasn't able to find a lot of packages that do have wheels. So if you want to take advantage of it with packages on the package index, it might be a little while before people start to put up wheels. And for some packages, it's not super essential because, for example, maybe it doesn't have C extensions, so you don't really need to build it. So all there will be is the source distribution. Like things like requests, I know is a pure Python package, so there's really no point. But yeah, it might take a little while for people to start adopting it. But if there are no further questions, we can move on to our next talk, I think.